Hello, beautiful artists. I missed you. I've been super busy with lots of different things going on, but today we have my favorite story. Literally my favorite. In fact, I have read it every single first day of school for the past 16 years, and it is called Regina's Big Mistake. This book reminds us that we need to take care of ourselves while we're making art, and we need to be kind to ourselves and get into a headspace that feels like we can let our gorgeous, beautiful art grow. Let's read it, and then we can do some drawing today. Everyone in Mrs. Lee's class got a piece of paper. Everyone was supposed to draw a jungle or a rainforest, and that meant Regina, too. Regina stared at the big blank piece of paper in front of her. Her fingers froze on her crayon. Where should she begin? Do you ever feel that way? Like, how do I start? It happens to lots of artists. Stuart had already drawn 2 trees thick with leaves, and Natalie was concentrating on a fierce lion. All around Regina, jungle sprouted out, but her paper stayed blank. What are you making? Joked Joshua. An invisible jungle? Haha. It's not very nice. I don't like that. Regina blushed. She hunched over her paper and lightly touched it with the tip of her crayon, and she started to draw a jungle flower. She drew one petal and then another, but the second petal was bigger than the first one. Is that okay? We know that's okay. We actually know that flowers have lots of different sized petals. Not Regina, though. She groaned. A mistake. She tried to erase the second petal, but crayon doesn't erase, and she tore the paper instead. She crumpled up quickly before anyone could see her ugly mistake. Oh, Regina. What happened to your paper? Asked Mrs. Lee. I made a mistake, Regina mumbled. Well, try to draw around it next time, said Mrs. Lee. You're wasting paper. Regina smoothed out her new piece of paper. Anything was possible, as long as it was empty. But somehow, her hand could never draw what she saw in her head. Does that ever happen to you? You envision something in your mind, and then you're just not sure how to get it on the paper? Yeah, that happens to me too. It does. Me too. Stuart's jungle was almost finished now, full of strange, ripe fruits and colorful birds. Natalie's lion stalked an antelope, but Regina wanted to cry. She could never draw anything so beautiful. Remember this. That's not true. That's not true. Almost done, asked Mrs. Lee. 10 more minutes. Regina picked up her brown crayon. She had to draw something, so carefully she drew a tree like Stuart's. Hey, don't copy me, he growled. I'm not, said Regina, and she quickly drew 3 big branches on her tree. But she thought that those heavy branches made her tree look funny. You know, in art, it's not called copying. It's called inspiration. We love each other's ideas. I love your idea. Can I use it? Yeah, I can. But Regina bit her lip. Was this another mistake? Could she draw around it like Mrs. Lee said? She looked again at the jungles growing around her. It is not a mistake. I can fix it, muttered Regina, and she started to draw a lion under the tree. See how she's starting to stick with it? Gotta do that to yourself. Copycat, said Natalie with a sneer. Again, come on, people. I'm not, Regina gulped. My lion's different from yours, and she quickly drew a tongue hanging out of the lion's mouth. It is fun to have your own style and to sort of add your own flair to your art. My lion's thirsty, said Regina. He needs water, so she drew a lake, and then a frog and some fish and a duck to go in the lake and some flowers alongside it. The jungle grew and grew until it filled the paper. She's like feeling the flow of her beautiful work. I love that feeling. Regina smiled. All her jungle needed now was a sun. She carefully drew a yellow circle, but the crayon wobbled and the circle had a dent in it. I've ruined it, she cried just when it was getting good. No more paper, warned Mrs. Lee. You'll have to make the best of it. Yeah, joked Joshua. Just pretend it's a very lumpy banana. Okay, stop and take a look. What would you do? My friends, if you were in my school, I would ask you to come to the board and I would ask you to show me what you would do with that lumpy sun space. And the thing is, no matter what I show you next, it doesn't matter. This is what the author, Marissa Moss, chose for her beautiful, amazing drawing. But whatever you choose, you're the artist and you get to decide. Let's see what she did. Regina looked hard at the wobbly circle. It wasn't a sun, but it wasn't a lumpy banana either. And suddenly she recognized what it was. It was a moon. She drew a face in the moon and surrounded it with stars and comets and a purple black sky. Wow, said Stuart, what a great idea. A jungle at night. Oh, I wish I thought of that, said Natalie. Mrs. Lee tacked all the pictures on the wall. Good work, Regina, she said, smiling. I love your moon. And the jungles glowed with their bright colors. Each one was different. Each one was beautiful. And even with all her mistakes, Regina thought hers was perfect. So remember, she said crayon does not erase. Do you think we should try to draw some jungles today? So I think it's a great idea, and I think there's so much we can do with just those big, bright, beautiful leaves. And maybe you too want to choose to make a lumpy circle and play with what you would turn it into. Maybe I'll make mine pink. Maybe my lumpy circle will turn into a sunset. And remember, we're using our strong muscles if we're using crayon, and we're filling our page. And just like Regina, her jungle grew and grew. I can't wait to see what your jungles look like. Will you have lions? Will you have birds or flowers? Will it be raining and it'll be a rainforest jungle? I can't wait to see. I've missed you and I'm so glad you're here, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.